The big boy, engine number 4014, is the showpiece of Union Pacific's public relations steam engine collection. It was built in 1941 as part of a class of the largest steam engines ever produced. But the era of steam locomotives was coming to an end, and even though this massive workhorse was relatively new, it was retired in the 1950s. At that point, 4014 was donated to the community, and it sat parked on display in a corner of the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds in Pomona for more than half a century. In 2013, Union Pacific decided to rehabilitate the old engine and add it to their heritage collection, so the company reacquired old 4014 and hauled it back to Cheyenne, and the mechanics in their shops brought the old locomotive back to life. After restoration was completed, the maiden voyage for the big boy was a trip to Ogden, Utah in May of 2019 to participate in the festivities for the 150th anniversary of the Promontory Summit Golden Spike. The restored engine made its way to Utah along the surviving route of the Transcontinental Railroad, and I chased the train across Wyoming for the better part of 2 days. So this is my very first look at the big boy. It's the night before the big day. I'm here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, up on the Central Avenue Viaduct, so I can get a good vantage down into the yard in front of the Union Pacific shops. Now it's the next morning, May 4th, back up on the viaduct again. They were just pulling the big boy out of the workshop and getting her ready for the christening ceremony, which would take place in front of the beautiful historic Cheyenne passenger depot. You can see the huge crowd of people and media assembled down there. I love the sound of that whistle. When the steam engulfed those of us who were up on the bridge, we could feel the heat and humidity. It was awesome. Finally, 4014 was ready to pull into the station, so I moved on to get a jump on my next vantage point. So this is a place called Harriman, Wyoming, and it's named after E.H. Harriman, who was the president of the Union Pacific at the turn of the last century. was Laramie, which was an absolute mob scene. There were definitely more people here than I saw in Cheyenne. The still photos I took show the scene much better than the video, so here's a couple of those images. This is the little town of Rock River, Wyoming. We're about 40 miles west of Laramie now. The tracks follow US 30 here on the way to Medicine Bow. Or maybe it's more appropriate to say that US 30 follows the tracks because, of course, the tracks were here first. The big boy didn't have a scheduled stop at this location, but the overpass here provided me a good vantage over the tracks. That vantage, however, was somewhat spoiled by the ill-timed appearance of an eastbound freight. And I say spoiled because I would have preferred to get the big boy consist in a shot by itself, but I understand. Union Pacific wouldn't be able to restore steam engines and take them out on tour without those freighters. But stay tuned, later on in the video, a freight train actually does ruin the moment. In Medicine Bow, there was a 20-minute stop and I got my best views of the video for the entire day. I was able to get so close to the locomotive that I could touch it. The crowds were also much thinner here because Medicine Bow is far away from Interstate 80. And I love the look of that picturesque depot museum here. The big boy overnighted in Rawlins and there was no public access to the train, but even still, some people made an effort to catch a glimpse. On this, the second day of the chase, I had intended to stick with the train until it got all the way to Rock Springs for its overnight stop. But the big boy was running more than 2 hours behind, and I was 5 hours away from home, so I decided to cut the day a little short. My last vantage point on this run across Wyoming was at Wamsutter.
We have the Black Eyes
Now I'm jumping ahead 5 days to the actual celebration at Promontory, which was on May 10th, 2019, marking the 150th anniversary of the driving of the Golden Spike, which completed the Transcontinental Railroad, uniting East with West. Tens of thousands of history buffs and train fans made the trek up to Promontory Summit to mark the occasion, and the National Park Service put on quite a spectacle to indulge the visitors. But the big boy wasn't able to join that celebration because, well, there are no train tracks anymore, so the 4014 stayed in Ogden for a few days. Ogden is still significant in the transcontinental story because only 6 or 7 months after the railroad's completion, the transfer point between the Central Pacific and Union Pacific was moved down to Ogden because Promontory was just too remote and impractical. Now I'm jumping ahead 5 years to my most recent chase of the big boy, and this was during the locomotive's 2024 tour. I'm in Salt Lake City, and this is Salt Lake Central Frontrunner Station, and the big boy has overnighted here. Now, if you've ridden the California Zephyr, you might recognize this as the spot where Amtrak stops in Salt Lake, but then again, that usually happens in the overnight hours, so most people sleep through this stop. Unfortunately, we had waited for nearly an hour and we still didn't get to see the big boy's departure from Salt Lake City. As luck would have it, another ill-timed freight train completely blocked our view of the departure. Not wanting to be defeated, I moved to a spot west of Redwood Road, where I had a very close encounter. After that, the big boy really picked up speed. By the time I got to my car and jumped onto the freeway, I was quite a bit behind. But I managed to get in front of the train near Lake Point, but just in the nick of time. And then, north of Grantsville, I managed to get in front of the train again, so I stopped along the shoulder of Interstate 80. While I was there, I was grateful that a passing highway patrolman chose not to hassle me for stopping on the side of the freeway. Maybe he was a big boy fan too, but in any case, thank you, Utah Highway Patrol. Another 10 miles down the road, and this location is Dell at exit 70. You can see a number of train chasers scattered on the hills here. And finally, the last stop of this video is on the Bonneville Salt Flats. The tracks here are about a half-mile south of Interstate 80, so I'm on abandoned old US 40, which is still drivable and runs closely parallel to these tracks, which were originally built by the Western Pacific. The siding here is called Salduro. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd ask that you'd give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will know to share it with other people too. And if you enjoy the content on my channel, I'd be honored to have you as a subscriber. This is Postcard Dan in Utah's West Desert.